Please be happy.
Hey, well, this is gonna be a quick one. I somehow, I don't know how, I broke my VTube model. It's just straight up not working right now. So, I've been wanting to play this for a while. How do I describe this? It's apparently just, a Yuri visual novel about love and friendship. And you know what? It's called Please Be Happy. And I could use a little happy right now, you know? So, here we go.
You'd like to tell me a story? Please, go ahead.
Absolutely. Let's see. Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Birch trees shivered, pondered the weather, and dropped their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like the birds in the trees. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen over. Once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro. Mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, sprouted across one side like a footpath for fairies. Nearby, an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud. It's rough getting back into the narrating and reading. I know I basically started this channel off of just creepypasta readings and visual novels, so it's good to get back to the roots, you know? And inside the deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the traveler sat to take a rest. Whoosh. With a scrabbling of nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveler watched the brush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. "Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you." They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first there was no reaction, and then first a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air. I wonder if that's supposed to be tasted. Whatever. Then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny, as she took several steps forward. Her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild, wild curiosity. The strangers sat unfazed, their offering still outstretched. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance, felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaws around the gift, a bond was made. Maybe we aren't so different, you and I. The traveler returned the next day, and the day after that. Each day, they bought some treat for their new friend. Each day, the fox's steps grew a little more trusting. One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend. Have you been waiting long?
The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet then and there. You know, I sure hope that I'm like monitoring my audio right now, since I don't have to monitor my VTube avatar, and it is peaking quite a bit. I hope once I get my new microphone, everything will sound nicer. You know, those Black Friday deals. I hope you all I hope you all had a good holiday, and maybe you guys got some deals yourself. Let's get back to this. The travelers sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too? This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow. Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world. Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to. I wish I could bring you with me, little friend. I wish that you could see the world too. Your home is all around me though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would always carry the memories of them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in a clearing, waiting patiently. Chapter 1 of Foxes and Fables.
We've now docked at Wellington Skyport.
I don't actually know where I would even put my VTube avatar for this. Real talk.
Thank you for flying with Kiwi Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding, just like the clatter of the seatbelts and chattering of passengers getting ready to disembark. I wiggle around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for... I don't even know how long it's been. Hours for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. A parade of footsteps begin to pass by outside my door. It's time. I listen carefully, waiting for a gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped out in front of. She doesn't even have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Humans, they're always kind of slow. I nod at the smiling flight attendant as I pass her by, and then throw up my hood to cover my face. It's been a while since I flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand.
I made it!
My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the skyport. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling onto the shore is like a lullaby. It makes me want to bury into the sand and take a nap. Oh, that was burrow. Heh, it's whatever. See, that's the thing. I've learned from my years of visual novel reading and terrible fanfiction reading, but none of you guys know about that. Sometimes you just gotta pick words that sound close enough to get the point across, because you're already in that mood, you know. You're in the mind of that character, that narrator. I say as if I'm a professional fucking voice actor. I'm not. But I can't. First, I need to get out of here, and there's one more challenge ahead. Up ahead, the snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. Well, I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying. It looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Humans sure like the processes and procedures. I definitely don't have a booklet like that. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through security. Without any other options, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. The line moves briskly as the passengers are cleared one after another, and I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please. Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something in the man's booklet and then hands it back to him, and he continues on out of the skyport.
Next.
That's me. I don't know what they do to people without any papers, but I don't want to find out. I'm sure it involves lots of questions, being escorted around and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping a slight distance. With my breathing steady and tail calm, I'm sure I can put on a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pockets, pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab the useless, clunky phone that I've been carrying around and let it clatter to the ground at the guard's feet. So here's the thing. Another tip. Even if you think you're reading slow, read slower. I'm not doing that right now. I'm being dumb. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it for me,
Oh, let me get that for you.
and I make a run for it, vaulting ahead and rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
Hey, you wait!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna make more of a fuss than, like, whatever, right?
Stop!
By the time they realize what's happened, I already have a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed combined with the natural chaos of the skyport should also buy me a bit of time. Still, I've got to get them off my tail. Yeah, I heard her voice. I think, I don't want to mispronounce it, but I think it's Miho. I don't think I can do a voice that high-pitched, but I'll try. Dashing through the skyport doors and out into the road outside, I don't even have the time to take in the city. Without stopping for breath, I run into the narrow streets while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow. Putting the thought out of my mind, I vault over a low wall into a nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but for only a moment. I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappears except a slight warmth against my neck. My secret weapon. The unremarkable looking necklaces is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. A certain one of the beads strung around my neck begins to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet begin to morph first, the fur chasing up my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. The sensation was so bizarre that the first few times I've tried. The sensation was bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it's become second nature by now. Ooh, I really messed that one up. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift and turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable, my once human face changing and lengthening into a snout with some difficulty. The process complete, after only a few seconds, I open my eyes not as a human, but as a fox. What happens to your clothes? It's magic, it's whatever. I dart away without waiting, far quicker on 4 legs than I could ever be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as a human. Instead, I'm able to flip between the gaps without slowing down.
That's her! I know it!
Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. His heavy breathing gets farther and farther away, and in just a minute or two, I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am. It's not like I knew where I was when I started running. When the eyes are closed, it reminds me of one of my cats. I almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Gotta go fast. Comfortable that the danger has passed, I slipped into another alley. Once I'm sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on form I want to take once more. Oops, hang on. My screen just went dark. I think that's on me. I'll fix it. Hold up. Okay, we're good. That familiar flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, and I open my eyes to glance at my hands.
Better luck next time.
Brushing the dust off myself, I nonchalantly stroll out of the alleyway and back onto the street. The odd person walks by on this errand or another, not paying any attention to me, just the way I like it.
Left, right, past turn, left.
Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there. I pick turns at random, without any destination in mind. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overheard another pair of travelers talking about it and how beautiful a city it is. Without a moment now to take in the scenery. Wait, with a moment now to take in the scenery, I can see that they weren't wrong. The streets around here like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is very colorful, even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. Yeah, so those p-p-p sounds, I hope that's not as bad once I get the new mic. This old girl has served me well for 10 years, but it's it's time for me to get a better mic. In the distance, I can see some green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills, now that I look around some. From just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections float my way. I head in its direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past, but when I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail and runs away. Dogs and I have always had an understanding. I guess you can just transform real fast then. After squeezing through one last narrow side street, I finally emerge onto what looks like a main road. There's no cars here, but tons of people on foot. There are brightly colored signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is the variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I'll be able to do most of my shopping around here. There are stores with food, with clothes, and with just about everything else. I don't have money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple of security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later, after all the shops are closed. Ah, delinquent fox girl, huh? Then, a man in a bright coat brushes past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't understand. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it up. Prying open the black leather pockets, I find...
Score!
Yeah? How much? A couple of bills and what I figure is the local currency. I slide the money out and into a pocket of my jacket. By now, the man is so far ahead that he's almost out of sight. I have to hurry up to catch up to him to give him back his wallet, and he barely even says thank you.
I should have just kept the whole thing.
Yeah, for real. Actually, that's rude. Like, for real. Why? If somebody gives you back your wallet, you check it, and then you say thank you. And then if you check it and there's money missing, you say thank you anyway. Because you know what? They probably need that money, right? It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like you would have ever gotten it back without me. I head back to my bench and inspect my prize. $15? New Zealand dollars? A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy. Nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
Give her a break, okay? She's a fox. She doesn't know how to read. 15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. I don't know about that. Over here, drinks are getting real expensive, you know? Like, you go to Starbucks and you order one thing and it's like fucking $10. My thirst is starting to get the better of me, as I haven't had anything to drink since I snuck up on that airship. Oh, anything in general. Ooh. Listen, girl, you are thin. Get some food in you. Following my nose, I walk down the busy street until I find one of the many cafes lining the path. The sign hanging above its front door has a picture of a bell on it. A charming bell rings out from above the door as I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing, cool air washing over me, which feels even better after so much running. Yeah, for real? Like, it's probably like summer. It's hot as hell.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
Oh wait, is everyone just an animal in this universe? The barista now behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. As I nod in greeting, she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in another.
What can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one.
What is an okay, actually they'll probably explain.
Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5.
Okay, I withhold judgment until I know what the fuck it is.
I like a...
I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that like a vegetable? Not wanting to commit to the strange sounding drink, I look at the menu instead. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten spindly letters. I can't read a single word, and there's no helpful pictures. Safe option it is.
I'll just have a vanilla latte. Ugh, boring. But okay. Name? Miho.
Okay, I pronounced it right. I feel better about myself now. It's my first time testing out how that name sounds, and I decided I like it. I decided on the airship that was I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life that I can't remember most of them. For each new city that I visit, I come up with something new. Boxes don't have any uses for names, so nobody ever gave me one. She scribbles something on the cup with a black marker. If that's how this name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
$4.50, please.
$4.50 that would be like a large, bro. No, that's probably actually real talk. If this is like a Starbucks alike, that's probably a medium. I handed her the brown bill, and she gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
All right. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
Never been to New Zealand, so I wouldn't know what the currency looks like. Oh my god. Why is my tongue so twisted? Seems enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working. Looking about somewhere to sit, I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Near the entrance to the cafe, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and a tourist pamphlets. So I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. This cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere. On the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs in them. Dude, I've always wanted to visit, I've been to a lot of cafes before, like local cafes. None of them have quite been like so aesthetic that I'm like, ooh. They're okay. They're nice. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it is more comfortable to me than places without.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Girl, you have $10. You're gonna be living in a cardboard box. Looking down to the map I took, I traced the path I made from the port to this cafe. It's useful, but it doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. I'll need to find a higher vantage point. I moved my finger along the hills I noticed from outside, following the little brown path to a patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work for now.
Miho!
My ears perk up, right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks!
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hands, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow?
What?
Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I glance behind me out the window. It's as sunny and blue as a day I've ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there. I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
There's like a bit of a crackling to my audio. I don't know if it's my... Oh, are you serious? Like, is my earbuds also dying? Dude, I have spent too much money upgrading my equipment. I cannot spend more money. Somebody cash at me something. She finally lets go of my drink and heads back to behind the counter. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip.
Oh, this is really good.
I could actually go for a vanilla latte myself. It's pretty plain, but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inward as I sip the warm drink. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life being spent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So, I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time. I'd imagine that, it's been some time, right? Like, foxes live forever, or something. I'd been itching for a change of scenery anyway, so I boarded, snuck onto, the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but the clothes on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. Yeah, but if you don't have a home base to return to, it can get really hard, you know? I take a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath, and pat their face a couple of times, then go inside. Imagine it's like that, that anime smacking your face, like, I can do this. They must not be looking forward to whatever is going to happen in there. Maybe they have to fight someone. Yeah, I'd fight my boss if I could, trust me. Through the large glass windows of another store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. The people waiting with her look annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. Oh, okay, so this universe just has, oh my god, why am I drawing a blank? Fuck. Well, it's whatever. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in such a big city. Actually, yeah, no, Like sitting in a cafe and watching out the window, that's like definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. But if I make eye contact with somebody, I am die. Eventually, I go to sip my coffee, only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. On the sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. Did I say map twice? Yeah. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one on the map. It'll be the perfect vantage point for the city, and great for nighttime stargazing. Ideally, I'll find an empty building I can crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in a bed. Encouraged by the plan forming in my head, I set off on a long walk to the summit. Oh? The path to the mountain turns out to be less simple than the map made it look. First, the trail takes me along the waterfront, and then it turns upward through a small forested area. Ooh, I wonder if there's a button to just view the art. Usually there is for the visual novels. I don't want to like accidentally progress either. Little mouse? Yeah, okay. Being among the trees and their tall shadows makes me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a bit disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the edge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes, I take shortcuts through the yards or up unmarked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I make a mental note to go check them out when I'm low on money or food. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple of airships are coming in to dock at the skyport, probably from one of the other floating islands. Oh, it's like a fantasy world. Cool. Because it was like New Zealand, and I was like, that's a real place. Yeah. There's still a ways to go to the top of the mountain, but luckily the walk has been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Well, that's because you're a fox. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of road. I can see where it curves ahead to the summit, and I hurry to the end. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain, and as I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me by.
How far is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Mount Victoria.
I'm glad to know what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help commit it to memory. Yeah, I do that too. It doesn't really help because you can tell me your name is like Joseph, and I'll like an hour later be like, "Hey, buddy." Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edges of the floating island we're on, miles out in the open sky. I survey the city, using the skyport as a reference point. Oh, quick thing. Because I know this is like an indie developer, so sometimes, especially since it's a visual novel, right? I don't want to put the whole thing up and then people not buy the game, you know? But I don't think that's a risk with me since, there's like 5 of you watching? But, you know, if I get a cease and desist or something, I'll stop making the videos for this. Otherwise, I'm going to use this as more practice to read on through. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. What was it the barista said it was called? The Bell House? It's kind of tough to make out the details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't that much better than a human's. Then I noticed something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
Yo, my mic is extra sensitive today, what the fuck? Not too far away, there's a little kid who's been using a pair of metal tubes attached to a post. His mom is helping him aim it at the city. It must be something that improves your vision. I've been to so many places where they have those, like, stationary binoculars or viewpoints or whatever the hell they're called. I've never used one. Because they always take coins, and when I go on trips, I don't have any coins. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get to them first. When I press my eyes to the same spot that the child did, though, all I can see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. This thing busted? No, it needs quarter. Yeah, this is why I never used one. Some text is printed on its side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Luckily for me, it's the coin that has a 50 on it. You mean the boat? I put the coin that I received from the barista into the slot and spin a lever. The machine eats my coin, and then when I put my eyes to it again...
Yes!
That was so cute. Everything looks much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear in crystal clear detail. I'm standing right next to them. Is this like an actual photo that was just... Huh. I aim the viewing glasses at the city and look around, trying to find a good place to rest for the night. Houses are a no-go. Even if they look empty or abandoned, you can never let your guard down for a minute. Same with most shops. I don't have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the sights, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound, and once again, the view goes black. Stupid machine. I'm glad it's been very lighthearted and happy so far. My other option for a visual novel read-along would be Umineko. And yeah, that's not... We'll get back to that. I smack it a couple of times and check again, but I still can't see anything.
Well, whatever. Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
I head back down the trail a little bit and veer off of it into the underbrush. You know, I probably don't have to have my compensator on for this, so it doesn't lower the game audio. It's too late now.
Not perfect, but it'll do.
Yeah, I hope that crackling sound isn't actually from the game and it's like from my headsets. 'Cause it's not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything around here seems cityfied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people, a place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I transform again. My neck gets warm as my bead activates, and a few seconds later, I'm on all fours. As a fox, the sensations of nature are much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing, and the breeze whips through my tails like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass, so tall that it reaches way over my head. I can smell fresh water, and I follow the scent to a small stream where I'm able to parch my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at that cafe, but in a different way. And being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw. Or worse, one of those lids with the tiny holes. Hey, I like using sippy cups, okay? And I am not afraid to say that. Maybe a little. I don't want to get made fun of. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants. That'll do for a snack. Oh, some edible plants that'll do for a snack, my bad. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. But yeah, we got some banging food out here. And we also have British food. If I want a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now while there's still daylight. Keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area. A small valley with hills on most sides, and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noises, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot that I settle on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing that I'll be out of sight. And so, I start to dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downward, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. Oh, box tunnels. I guess that's where the term comes from. Huh. First, I dig forward, and then downward, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. This is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. I think that's why I don't mind it too much, compared to sleeping inside somewhere. It just feels right to me. The art's been really nice. So does the music. Like, I was dead tired. That's why I just wanted to do like a quick recording session. It's been a long day. But honestly, kind of feeling refreshed. It's that relaxing mood, you know, like when you pick up a good book and you just sit down and then it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. It takes a little while, and by the time I'm finally finished, the first few stars have started to peek out from the sky. I shake myself clean of the dirt that sticks to my coat, and then transform back into my human form.
Spread this here, a couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you'd ever notice anything out of place. So like, in this universe, would other animals, like, see that and be like, oh, someone's trespassing or something? Or would they be like, oh, someone's homeless? Like, what would even be the response? All that digging has made me work up an appetite. Not the kind I'll be satisfied with just a few berries. Thank goodness she still has $10. I sure hope you can get a good meal with that.
Ugh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I just kind of forgot how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city.
Work never ends. Time to get some food!
Tabedemashita? Ah, fuck. Listen, I've been trying to learn Japanese and I'm okay. I'm not doing too well, you know? Could probably tell you what would be in Chinese, because, you know, but, yeah. Let's see. Hang on. Time to eat in Japanese. Okay, that is not correct. Thanks, Google. Alright. That can't be correct. I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, and that all the stores would be closed. Turns out I was half right. A lot of the stores have gone dark for the evening, but there are just as many people walking around now as there were earlier. In fact, there might be even more. The patio of a restaurant has a bunch of tables full. A mermaid is sitting in the fountain I sat by earlier, chatting with a cyclops. Even the cafe that I visited is crowded now, with a line almost out the door. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I get caught stealing. I just escape, obviously. But, wait. And even if they somehow manage to catch me, it wouldn't be an issue for very long. Yeah, so my reading style is that I tend to predict where this sentence is going, so that's why I make a lot of mistakes like that. See, there's something different about me that makes me an extra good at being a thief. It's not just the skills I've practiced over the years, like picking locks and sneaking around. Ooh, so Miho is a rogue type, which is, you know, my type. No, it's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me by the next day. I don't know why, but I don't really care either. It's magic. That's all I know about it. Really useful magic.
Bruh, is this where everything gets really sad?
Everywhere I go, no matter how careless I am, all of my problems are solved by the next day. Like, I'm sure some of you out there are like, oh, that sounds amazing, that sounds wonderful. Like, I can do whatever and then tomorrow everyone will just forget? Or, oh, that embarrassing thing that happened to me, it's gone. But you have to also remember, like, if you make friends or you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I know where that's where this is gonna go, obviously. So, we'll see. That doesn't mean there's no danger. I've been caught in the act before and beaten or harassed before I can manage to get away. I even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square because I had to get going in a hurry. But if someone sees me but isn't able to stop me, I know that I'll be home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. It almost makes things too easy. Right now, it would be smarter to just come back even later in the dead of the night and hope that there's no people around. I'd be able to take my time browsing without having to worry about making a quick escape. I guess that's where she got her really nice clothes from. Where's the fun in that, though? Like to live dangerously on the edge, eh? I walk casually up and down the street, glancing at the windows without being too obvious about it. Some stores still have customers inside, others have locked their doors and shut off the lights. Most of the restaurants are still open and are only making me hungrier. Stealing from restaurants is a bit too much even for me, though. I've tried it before, but the cluttered kitchens, as well as the tables and chairs, make it really hard to get around. Plus, I've learned the hard way that there are plenty of hot or sharp things for angry cooks to throw at you as you try to make your way out. Instead, packaged and pre-made foods are my best friends. Things I can grab multiples of at once and stuff into my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches or salads, or sometimes perfectly good hot food that gets thrown out. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the trash a little bit. It's not ideal, of course, but a hot meal is a hot meal. I know plenty of foxes who've eaten much worse. Girl, you live like this? Like...
Target spotted.
It's perfect. A small convenience store, snacks lined up behind the front window. Even better, the shops on either side of it are closed too. So there's not many people inside the area.
Locked, huh? Not surprising.
think I recognize some of those boxes. I head down a nearby alley and find the back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alleyway is dark to begin with, and my dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad like always for my excellent night vision. Smug fox. Nobody's watching, nobody's even around. Pull my hood up over my ears and tuck my tail between my legs. Leaning against the sturdy door, to anyone not looking closely, I'm sure I appear as nothing more than a shadow. Dig around in my pocket until I find my trusty lockpick, and then set to work on the door. It isn't a complicated lock at all, just a regular keyhole. With a click, the latch springs open just a few short moments later.
Bingo. Huh?
I try to tug the door towards me, but there's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit through the gap, but it'd be easy for a fox. First, I slink away for a bit, idling on the nearby streets like a regular pedestrian. I wait to see if anyone shows up, just in case I triggered a silent security system. This fox is, definitely experienced, huh? After about 10 minutes, I decide it's safe. I transform under cover of darkness in the alley and slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and the receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes of soda and candy bars on the floor. I grab a couple of my favorites and shove them in my pocket. When I creep into the main area, I make sure to stay low on the ground, trying to avoid being seen from outside. I'm not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coat as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorn? I'm not very picky. When my coat starts to feel pretty heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot into there. I also take a few bottles of water and sports drinks from the coolers. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a few of those coveted plastic wrapped sandwiches that I was thinking about earlier.
Jackpot!
I fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing, and then I head back out the way I came. Yo, like, I go to some Asian bakeries around here, and like, those sandwiches just hit different than American sandwiches, okay? Like, I don't know what it is. In total, I was in and out in about 5 minutes. Got enough supplies to last me several days. When I step into the alley, I glance around in both directions, making sure no one saw me emerge from the store. I don't see anyone, but my neck prickles as if someone is watching me. I sniff the air. I don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that wasn't there before. Still, what the hell? Suddenly, there's a flap of wings, and a bat flutters past me from out of the shadows. It goes right over my head and disappears from sight up the street.
Oh, that's it?
I let out the breath that I've been holding in, and start making my way back towards the mountain where I made my den. I let the bag swing from my arm as I walk, whistling a song I heard earlier. I'm not able to keep a smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first date. I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
So what is she here for, though? I know she's looking for that person, but like, whatever. There have been plenty of days in my life where I've had none of those things. I unwrap one of the sandwiches that I grabbed and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here.
So tired. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
I unpack everything that I got from the store, as well as the treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my my wallet, a few pretty stones. The only thing that I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
I change back into a fox and then dig another hole near the entrance to my den. This one is much simpler and shallower. I bury some of the snacks that I stole before covering them back up with dirt.
Not like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry. I stole this myself after all. Don't want it being stolen from me.
Oh, that was weird. I think my computer froze. Stuff like my pen and my favorite rock go into the burrow with me, since I like having them close by. Once I've gotten everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole. I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. From here, I have a perfect view of the stars. I look up at the clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel. I feel bad for all those people way down on the underworld.
Can they even see the stars from there?
I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. I can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. I'm sure it's only morning as I peered out my burrow's entrance. The sky is already dark and foreboding. My attention moves from the ominous rain clouds above to the trees outside my den, their branches shaking in the strong breeze.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right!
I climb up the tunnel and out into the open, sniffing the air. It just tells me what I already know. A storm is coming, and fast. But also, another scent plays on my nose. One so faint that I almost brush it off before taking another smell. Surely I'm wrong. There's no way that... Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate the area, and then decide that I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
Yes, someone's definitely been here, but the scent isn't a human's. It's vaguely familiar, but at the same time, not like anything I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't here when I went to sleep.
They must have come here in the night and stopped right outside my den.
Were they watching me sleep? Oh crap!
As a fox, I dive back into my hole to make sure everything is still there. My heart pounds in my chest, but nothing appears to be missing. I also checked the spot where I buried my stash from last night, but that hasn't been disturbed either. I breathed a sigh of relief. If any of my stuff had been stolen, I'd be so mad. But that still doesn't answer the question of what they did want. And that's even more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. So if someone was able to sneak up on me, even I have to be impressed. Impressed, and a little bit worried. I've got a more pressing issue right now. And I stare up at the sky in disappointment.
I hate the rain.
I like the rain, but I'm in my comfy, safe house with 4 walls and a roof over my head, so yeah, sorry about that, mijo. I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I'd known this would happen. Instead, both burrows would probably just be piles of mud by the end of today.
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
I fill my pockets with my most important possessions and some of the food I grabbed last night. Everything else I wrap as tightly in the plastic bags as I can and bury them in my den. Hopefully I can find somewhere fast and then move everything else over before it gets ruined. An abandoned house would be perfect. Some other places where I'd be able to hide. After finishing packing up, I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound overhead catches my attention. I expected it to be a bird, but instead it's yet another bat. This one is even bigger than the one I saw last night. Its wings are way longer and noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies past. Some people say bats and foxes are similar. I don't see it. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off towards the city.
Maybe it knows somewhere to stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
A couple of times, it disappears between the trees or just too far up ahead, but I always manage to catch back up. Eventually, we're out of the woods and back into civilization. Oh, I'm gonna have to call it here. Sorry, boys.
Please be happy.